Today we'll be doing a let's play of making scones or scones. Scones, however you want to call it. I personally find the entire scone debate incredibly frustrating because really, who gives a shit? Like on a real note, like if you say scones or scones, however you say it, I mean, I don't know. Why are we even having this conversation? It's a bit like the conversation of pineapple on pizza. I really don't care how you have your pizza, so I really don't care how you say scone or scone. In any case, let's get making these scones or scones. I say it both ways, so that's my thing. I've never really noticed how I say it, but I think if I did lean towards saying it one way or the other, I'd be saying scone. I think that's how I said it growing up, because that's where I'm from. I'm from the south of England. You know, we say scone. And as far as I can tell, okay, by the way, I've got this recipe transcribed. Maybe I'll share it or put it on the screen. But I'm just going to do this, because if I think about this too much, then I'll start cringing out. So we've got self-raising flour here, and we're measuring this out, 225 grams. We need... Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, I've already made a slight mess. That's fine. That's what cleaning up afterwards is for. But yeah, you say cone. You don't say con. Like if you were thinking of like a traffic cone, you don't say it's a traffic con. So, you know, make of that what you will. But you don't say gone. You don't say you know, if you like someone's gone, someone's disappeared, you don't say they've gone. So, you know, really, who gives a shit? There's more important issues to do with the north-south divide than how you say scone. And we all like one. We all like a scone. That's the one thing that unites us. Okay, so that's our self-raising flour. And then we just combine that with a teaspoon, well, I do half a teaspoon of baking powder. Need to open the washing machine because all the teaspoons are in the dishwasher. That's another thing. Dishwasher, washing machine, I always get them mixed up. People get confused. Don't you mean the washing machine, or don't you mean the dishwasher? You're getting your clothes out you're getting your dishes out the washing machine? Yes, I get my dishes out the washing machine. It washes stuff, no? Alright, here's a half a teaspoon of Dr. Oetker. I think it's very important not to do too much. I think the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon. But I go for half. I think that was about half, or maybe it was a bit more. Just because I think having too much baking soda can actually ruin it. It gives it a really baking soda-y taste that I'm not a huge fan of. Okay, so now caster sugar, 25 grams. So we get our caster sugar. This is just normal caster sugar, or caster sugar. Have I zeroed? I've zeroed the scales. 6 grams, so it's going to take ages. Let me just pour it. Eight grams, 12 grams. Ooh, was it 25 we needed? All right, that shot up quite quickly. There we go, 25 grams. Just clip this back up. Look at these handy little clips. They're incredibly handy. Thanks to whoever made those handy clips. And now we need... I didn't put down how much butter we needed. I'm gonna have to Google how much butter we need. How much butter? 100 grams, but we're doing half, so 50 grams of butter. Which actually is quite easy to do because there's a handy little notation thing. 50 grams, you can cut that. Oh, maybe I'll just cut it instead of measuring it. Actually, no, I won't. I'm gonna measure it. We'll zero it out again. But basically, you just want to combine everything in the same bowl for now. How much is that? 18. So we wanted 50 grams, didn't we? Yeah. There we go. 50 grams. What next? Oh yeah, okay, so now, so you add all of the stuff in to your bowl, which now looks like this. I don't know what that camera can see, but I can see what this camera can see. So I'm showing you both. There's the cat. I think you might be able to see that. Meow. And then basically what you want to do is you want to start breadcrumbing, which I'll just do here. So I got a bit more coverage. And so breadcrumbing is, there's a good technique for it. And also, I think if you're going to do breadcrumbing, I think you need to cut your fingernails because otherwise all of the flour and the butter and that stuff gets underneath your fingernails, and then it can I feel like your fingernails is not a super clean place to have. Should I be lower? Maybe I'll be lower so I'm a bit more, I've got more options. So yeah, no, all the flour and the butter and stuff will just get underneath your fingernails, which is kind of fucking gross. I'm gonna be eating this shit and now it's touched the stuff under your fingernails. Like, have a look under your fingernails, like if they're a bit long. I mean, most of the time they're clean, but you'll just see that like gross, like black stuff that coagulates under there. It's horrible. But anyway, yeah, breadcrumbing methodology. I'll show you. You just want to be doing like little pincer type movement with your thumbs. Just sort of doing that. You want your palms to be clean. Palms to be clean. Unlike that of the British Broadcasting Corporation, which I'm taking this recipe from. Their palms are not clean. They're sullied with the red blood. Anyway, of the innocents. Now, let's continue. I didn't really plan to go on this tangent. It's just on my mind at the moment. Everything's getting worse. But no, let's not dwell. Let's focus on the fact that we're making some nice yummy scones. I can hear laughter outside. The flats beneath us must be having fun. Didn't get an invite to that. No, I don't care. No, I don't care that they have fun in the garden that we all share. No invite. Yeah, whatever. Okay. Now that is a very nice bit of breadcrumbage. Let's see, can we see that on this camera? It's very fine, but it's good breadcrumb action, huh? Alright. Let's clean as we go as well. This flour on the hob is starting to pee me off. And now my phone's out. I can't have that drop. I'm just washing my hands. Oop. Okay. Just put my phone back in my pocket. Give us a little spray down. This isn't a aerosol spray, by the way. I recently just heard that aerosol sprays like give you cancer. Or like if you use an aerosol spray to clean your house, you're like, that's the thing, is it aerosol? I basically know 0 cleaning sprays that actually are like aerosol, like deodorant cans. But cleaning sprays are apparently like incredibly carcinogenic. I don't think this one is though. I can't imagine it is. Because it's just like liquid and it sprays like goopy spray. It doesn't like spray like a mist. I might be still getting cancer, but I don't know. It seems like everything's giving you cancer these days. Can't even smoke anymore without getting cancer. Alright, we're gonna crack an egg into here. It's good. So yeah, like this plastic jug. I make gravy in there and I put boiling water in the plastic jug. Does that mean that I'm gonna get cancer? I fucking hope not. Okay, let me get some milk now. So we've got some egg in the cup, egg in the jug. And now we need milk. The cat is going to come over to the fridge because I've just opened the fridge. She thinks it's feeding time. No, it's not feeding time. 150 milliliters. So we've got some egg in here right now. And we need to fill it up to 150 milliliters. Is that other camera recording? I've suddenly become nervous that only one camera is recording. No, they're both recording. Okay, it's fine. Okay, and then we want to mix this mixture together. I'm just going to use, actually no, I used the teaspoon. I'm just going to use the teaspoon that I used for the baking soda. We just mix this shit together. The production value on the 2-camera setup is fucking crazy. Okay. And now we get a bit lower. Egg in jug, 150 ml up. Oh yeah, I needed to put the oven on this whole time. Preheat your oven, guys. I don't normally preheat my oven just because I keep forgetting. 200 degrees Celsius with the fan. That's what we're doing. You know what? I'll put a recipe up on the screen at some point. Maybe at the beginning, I'll put the recipe up on the screen. You can pause it and transcribe it yourself. And it can sort of be like a word of mouth thing. But it's actually Mary Berry's recipe, which we all love Mary Berry, so can thank her for that. I hope I'm not like infringing on her copyright by stealing her recipe, but I think it's probably a similar thing to like knitting. I don't think you can copyright a knitting pattern, but maybe you can. See, I don't actually know about the knitting legal precedents. Okay, so let's mix some of this shit together. Hopefully this camera's picking that up. I'm just gonna mix a bit of this in till it becomes nice and goopy. Egg and jug, yeah. Yep. I'm doing this all correct. I give it a little mix. I'm gonna incorporate it all, and it should get real sticky. That's what we want, is stickiness. Bit more. That's nice and goopy. And also this scone mixture is delicious. The dough that we're making here, I love it. It's so nice. And it's better cooked, but it's actually sometimes I don't know if it is better cooked. One day I think I'm just gonna make this and then stop the recipe here and just eat the mixture. I know it's like a raw egg, but I don't think that's actually such a problem, is it? I think there's a big moral panic, a big moral scare when I was younger around eating eggs. You're gonna get salmonella, but I actually don't think it's that much of a thing. Maybe it is. All right. So now that's super sticky, which is good. That's what we want. We want it to be kind of sticky. We get some flour. I'm not going to use the self-raising flour, actually, I've decided. And we want to flour our work surface. Sorry, I'm just talking to the cat. And we want to flour our work surface down. This is just regular flour. I'm not using self-raising. Because is self-raising more expensive, or it's just not worth using to flour your surfaces? I don't know. I'm not really a baker as such. Oh yeah, and I also need to grease a pan. Okay, let me do that as well. And I'll show you my life hack for greasing a pan, or a dish, or whatever you're going to use to cook it in. So I'm using this just because we don't actually have a lot of like baking dishes. Really, you should be using like something made for scones. Or maybe this is fine. Maybe this is what the pros use anyway. But here's how I grease it. So I get the butter, which is good. I love butter. We get the butter, and then we just sort of, let me show this camera as well, just so I'm getting double coverage. We just sort of goop it around. You know, maybe this is what everyone does. Like, this isn't a secret tip I'm sharing with you. Maybe this is just normal, but, you know, it's easy not to do any baking in life. You can just buy your baked goods from the shop and, like, never do baking yourself. But I think it's important to try. Maybe. It definitely feels good. Okay, now I've sort of buttered a bit too much. That's probably fine. And it also works as well if you've run out of butter. Like when you run out of butter and you still want to grease a tin, the foil is still real greasy. So, you know, you can sort of save your butter more. I'm just putting it back in the fridge. Should probably put the milk in. Oh, the milk's already back, which is good. Meow. Okay. So now for the bit you've been waiting for. I don't have a scone cutter. Now some people would be like, you don't have a scone cutter and you're making scones? Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, what's the point? Let me put a little bit of flour in because it's real sticky. It's almost too sticky. Well, I don't care. I'm just going to roughly form them into scone-like shapes. So you just grab a hunk of your dough. You slap it down, roll it about, and then you formulate it. And it sort of already looks like a scone, in a way. Doesn't that look like a bit like a scone? And these are going to be huge, which is kind of the way I like them. Make sure you've got jam and make sure you've got clotted cream before you begin this task. And again with the scone thing, I really don't give a shit how you fucking put the jam or the clotted cream on first. Just in the same way that I don't give a shit how you say scone or scone. And you know, you might say, oh yeah, of course a scone sayer would say I don't care, but you know what? I really don't care. If you put your cream on first, cool. If you put your jam on first, cool. I'm not going to sit there and watch you do it and go, you're doing that wrong. You're doing it so wrong. Oh my God, this is sacrilege. This fake outrage pisses me off. And I know you're just making light conversation, but do it on my terms or don't do it at all. That's what I'm saying. Anyway, so today we've made 5 scones. Sometimes you can make more, sometimes you can make less. I think I've gotten louder as this recording has gone on. So mixing this is going to be fun. These are quite floury. Maybe they're too floury. But that's what we've got ourselves. Excellent. So yeah, when I was thinking of doing this in my head, I was thinking of doing like a cool transition where I like, oh, I could still do it on this camera actually. Cleo's just playing with her litter. Anyway, let me wash my hands and then I'll put this in the oven. And then once you put it in the oven, it's in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. And then when it comes out, you just want to slop. I do clotted cream first, and then I put the jam on top. I think it looks more aesthetically pleasing. Like, I do have a preference. I put a bit of clotted cream on and then the jam on top, because the creamy base sort of acts like butter, if you will. Like, if you're buttering a piece of toast, the creamy base adds like butter, and then the jam goes on top. So that's how I do it. I think that is the correct way, but I really don't care if you put the jam on first. Okay, so here they are, uncooked. I'm going to dip beneath the camera now, and then dip back up, and they're going to be cooked, and it's going to look great. All right, 3, 2, 1. Wow. I wish you could smell what I'm smelling. I see they look, that's really hot. Oh, shit. Now, I wish you could smell what I'm smelling. They smell great. They're a bit big, but I like them big, and they combine, but you can always cut them apart. Ow! Shit. God. So yeah. That is the scone process. I hope I've not been slightly out of focus this whole time. I think it's very possible. But who cares? Yeah, we'll cool these down. Wow. We'll cool these down and I'll put some clotted cream on them and we can see the finished result. God damn. They look pretty good. Sheesh. I'm using Maribel Raspberry Conserve. You find this at Aldi and or Lidl. I think it's Lidl I found it. And Taste the Difference Cornish clotted cream. I'll be honest, that shit's really expensive. It was a really expensive shop to get this, but god damn. You really can't argue with the results. So I'm gonna take a little bite. Now they're still warm from the oven, but they're not. They've had time to rest. And I don't really care if I've done this wrong. I think I've done it right. It looks pretty fucking good. Wow. That and a cup of tea. Delicious. What you can also do is you can put raisins into the mixture while you're making it, and then you get raisin scones. But let's say, wow. All right. There we go. That's how to make scones. Enjoy. I hope you make these yourself. Just let me see if I can get a good angle. What's the best angle for this? But yeah, no, holy shit. A very delicious meal. Or a little snack. Yeah, okay. That's scones.